Hi there, Summoners! GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. Tonight we are getting the reveal of the next set of new heroes to drop into the game in just a couple of days. Now we do already know that we are getting a new version of Ash. We've already seen that within the game itself, but the rest is a mystery. So let's go ahead and dive in, see who they've got lined up for us, and we can just drink in the reveals together. Let's take a look here. Okay, Attuned here. Oh, that's Fate's music. That's not only Fate's music. That's Hoshiden. Oh, Warrior of Bonds. A new version of Ryoma. That white armor looks slick. All right, so infantry sword unit. It's been a hot minute since we've gotten a Ryoma in the game. Hoshido Raijinto. Gust, a duelist's blow. That's interesting. That's inheritable. Bushido Tenet, attack speed, faith, and tumultuous echo. Interesting. All right. Tanking, tanking. Oh, tanking hits like crazy. That's a cool animation. That little backflip. All right. Okay. Let's see what he's got. So he's going to be an enemy phaser then? That is interesting. If so. Okay. That's a lot of damage. Alright. Interesting. And, oh, he has a style? Hoshido Raijinto style. Can add 2 spaces away. Decreases speed difference to double, probably, is what it says. I mean, he's got pretty high speed as it is. Increases mobility, defeats distant foes, evades attacks. Deals a high-powered special. So he gets a pre-charge.
We will not lose.
Yeah. He gets a pre-charge. He gets to attack from 2 spaces away. He's got Kanto. I mean, he... I don't know. Oh, okay, we're getting a Rearmed as well. Okay, so we're getting Attuned and Rearmed in this one. And... oh! Warrior of Gusto! That is going to be Hinoka! Wow! So we're getting Ryoma and Hinoka. Okay. Alright. It's been a hot minute since we've gotten Hinoka as well. Arcane Crimson, so that is going to be inheritable. Haze Slice, Blue Skies 4, that's a good skill. Air Superiority, interesting. And Encouragement, her own C-slot skill. Encouragement. Flies over trouble and meets her foes up close, boosts morale and strength of allies, and buries enemies. Alright, that is cool. It's been a while since we've gotten a Hinoka as well, so that is nice to see. A little more Lord action from the Hoshido side, which might mean that the next character, could it be regular new hero, but Takumi? Is going to be my guess, naturally. That doesn't look like Takumi. Oh, okay. Alright, Rebellious Streak. So we've broken the streak, ironically, with Rebellious Streak. With Scarlet here, she is going to be an Axe Flyer. Okay. We can take a look here. Doubler Axe plus Ignis, Speed, Defense, Catch 3, and Flow, Flight 3. She is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. Can have double bonus doubler. Okay. Nullification of... okay. Alright. So we... we broke the streak with Scarlet, and of course we know... oh, wait! What? Entwined Heroes? They're adding a new hero type? Oh, Ash is going to be the new hero type. Wow, that art is amazing. Borrowed Power. I mean, Ash always looks good. Honestly, she always looks amazing, but, you know, that art looks fantastic on her. So she's got 1 HP. Okay. Entwining Horn... so how does that play into things? Flame Wall, Distant Attack Defense Form, and Lagoo's Friend. Lagoo's Friend, okay. And Air of Openness. Jesus! God. These skill descriptions are absurd. Grants up to S+ support rank. Also boosts counterattacks and provides... what? What is it? Okay. Wait, did she heal? I didn't I didn't actually see. Alright, she's got the beam. Okay, so more about... okay, we're to learn about Entwined Heroes too here. What is an Entwined Hero? An Entwined Hero can form even stronger bonds through ally and summoner support. I see. Supports are more powerful. Entwined Heroes get even more stat increases from support effects. Go all the way to S+. Raise our ally and summoner support ranks to S+. If allies with support ranks S+, are dispatched together, they grant +2 to all stats during combat, no matter how far apart they are. By granting S+, the hero is granted +7 and +2 to all stats. I mean, that's obviously very limited to particular game modes where the summoner is playable. You receive a bouquet when you make the Entwined Hero your ally. Okay, give a bouquet. Give bouquets to allies so they can receive the same effects as Entwined Heroes. What? How does that work? What does that mean, the same effects? Receiving ally gets even more stat increases from support effects. Okay, so she gives the ability to get S+ bonuses. Interesting. Oh, new story chapter, Rite of Heaven. Okay. Alright. Anybody to recognize here? Not really, I didn't see anybody. Okay, so starting on the 16th of September, we are getting, what is this called? This banner? It's called Entwined Ash, Attuned and Rearmed Heroes. Okay. Scarlet is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. I do wonder if we're going to get multiple sparks on this banner because of the introduction of a new hero type. Yeah, look at that. So choose a focus hero from the event to summon for free after your 40th summon up to 3 times. Because we do have, in fact, 3 kind of limited variants, right? We have Entwined, Attuned, and Rearmed. Now, to be fair, it has been a minute or two since they've introduced a new hero type. At a point, they were introducing one like every couple of months. It has been a pretty long lull since we've gotten, I guess, the last hero type. Now, I gotta say, it is pretty interesting that this is a new hero banner that has 3 different new hero variants that are limited in nature, which means that it is effectively an entirely limited banner despite being a new hero banner. So we have gotten to that point where we more or less have an entire banner dedicated, new hero banner dedicated to limited units. Scarlet, of course, the 4-star focus unit of the banner, so she is going to drop into the regular pool, but all 3 of the 5-star exclusives are going to be limited. Not entirely sure how I feel about that. I mean, the reality is that we were headed in this direction. It's kind of been put into motion since a while back, ever since they moved away from Ascended heroes being in the regular pool, and introducing new hero types that were going to be in the limited pool, but it's certainly with mixed feelings, because if a character is going to be limited, I think Intelligent Systems and Nintendo are going to make that character probably more powerful, so we are going to see more powerful, as if we needed, more leapfrogging in power level in this game in general. But, just saying, for like certain characters that people are interested in, it's nice to have a powerful version. So if they are a limited variant, it increases the likelihood that they are going to be, a powerhouse of some capacity. So, but yeah, let's take a closer look at the characters themselves. The structure and the limited nature of the characters notwithstanding, let's take a look at each of the characters here. So we do have Ryoma. He is, no muss, no fuss, going to be infantry, sword unit with that silver armor looking very, very slick. And, yeah, we've got our silver lobster here, Lobster Man, ready to go. Like I said, it has been a minute since we've gotten a new Ryoma in the game, and, it's kind of, frankly, refreshing to see him. He has that manly chestnut mane flowing behind him. He has his blade in hand actually glowing in excitement at the promise of battle. I do like the nice nod to his scabbard actually being red, like his original armor as well. And yeah, he's got that flowing cloak behind him. Really, I mean, it is effectively just a silver variant of his original art, but it works really well in terms of just making him, like, shine that much more. Alright, so in terms of his weapons, Hoshido Raijinto, 16 Might, Killer Slaying Effect, has distant counter built in. At start of player phase or enemy phase, if unit's HP is at least 25%, grants defense res +6, dodge, and neutralizes penalties on unit during combat to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. If foe initiates combat or HP is at least 25% at the start of combat, grants bonus to unit's stats equal to number of allies within 3 rows, 3 columns centered on unit times 3 plus 5 max 14, and reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of unit's speed. So he does have some true damage reduction, and reduces damage from foes' specials by an additional 20% of unit speed during combat. And also, when unit special triggers, deals damage equal to 40% of unit speed. Got some nice true damage baked in there as well. Unit can use the following style, Hoshido Raijinto style. So we do know that he does have a new style, which does at least let him attack from a distance. Unit can use the following style, Hoshido Raijinto style. So we already saw in the preview, in the first run-through, that he does have his own unique style. We will take a closer look at that. Gust for the special scales off of his speed like everything else, so that is going to be very easy to min-max him. He is very, very, very interested in getting as much speed as possible. His A-slot skill, Duelist's Blow. If unit initiates combat or is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed plus 9 to unit, reduces damage from foes' first attack by X, including Brave effects, and neutralizes effects that grant special cooldown charge plus X to foe or inflict special cooldown charge minus X on unit during combat. Okay, so it has anti-guard effects and anti-blade effects on the enemy as well at the same time, in addition to the stat boosts and the damage reduction. That's quite valuable and quite interesting to have on an A-slot skill. So, I mean, just having that kind of baked in there allows for more flexibility in other slots and things, which is nice. B, Bushido Tenet. If a skill compares unit speed to foe or ally speed, treats speed as if granted as plus 7, so it's phantom speed plus 7. At start of player phase or enemy phase, grants fringe bonus and null follow-up to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. Inflicts attack speed defense minus 5 on foe during combat when unit's special triggers, deals damage equal to 15 plus unit's max special cooldown count value times 5. Ah, interesting. And neutralizes foes' reduced damage by X% effects from foes' non-special skills. So damage reduction piercing as well. Neutralizes, or nullification I should say, reduces damage from foes' attacks by 15 during combat, and unit's next attack deals damage equal to the total damage reduced from foe's first attack, resets at end of combat, restores 7 HP to unit after combat. Interesting. So he does have Gust, which is going to be at a 3-turn cooldown. With the Killer Sling effect, it'll be at a 2-turn cooldown. So that does mean that unit's max special cooldown count value times 5 would be 15 plus 15, so it would be 30. So he gets 30 raw true damage, which doesn't have a cap on it. So that's not bad. That's not bad as far as true damage goes. Attack speed Faith for the C slot skill, which does give him the Bulwark ability, which is quite nice. And then Tumultuous Echo for the X slot. So enables Kanto, distance plus 1 max 4. At start of turn, unit can move 1 extra space. Alright, so having Tumultuous Echo on an X slot is quite scary, I would say. Definitely has some potential in there. I'm assuming it's infantry locked, although, who knows. It could possibly, I could see it also be attributed to flyers potentially, but we'll just have to see. I will say that, I mean, in terms of applicability, the fact that we have Emblem Heroes that let characters fly across the screen, it takes some of the wind out of the sails of something like Tumultuous Echo. The built-in Kanto is quite nice, and again, having that stuck on an X slot does free up some more flexibility on some of the other slots and things like that, but not quite as impactful as otherwise could have been if we didn't have, so many Emblem Heroes and other ways of just like warping across the entire screen. So let's take a look at this, shall we? A unit can attack foes 2 spaces away, so that's becoming more and more of a thing, baked into styles. Decreases speed difference necessary for unit to make a follow-up attack by 10 during combat. Cannot move through spaces within 2 spaces of foe. Oh, okay. I thought there was more to that. Well, not that there needs to be. I mean, the fact that he can attack 2 spaces away is quite powerful. Even though we have Byleth that can attack 3 spaces away, having a melee unit at all that has the freedom and flexibility of attacking 2 spaces away and being treated as a melee character has significant advantages. And so that is a powerful ability, and then the whole speed difference necessary as well is interesting to tack onto this particular style, just because he's already going to be a pretty speedy unit, but, you know, I guess he's competing against a lot of speedy units out there at this point. But yeah, okay. So, I mean, much shorter and sweeter than I thought it was going to be, but doesn't really need to have a whole heck of a lot more. When you have that, in addition to the fact that he has the additional movement, makes him very, very deadly, in addition to the Kanto and everything, right? So, lovely Elder Princess of Hoshido is going to be the Rearmed hero on the banner. And she is going to be a flyer, naturally, which, you know, I would not expect anything else, and she is going to be a lance unit. You just kind of love to see a return to form. I love the feather lining that she has, actually, in the collar, as well as part of the gloves. The blade itself of the lance, having a wing motif to it, is really striking, too. Really beautiful and comes together very nicely. I love the traditional armor that she has plated around her, as well as across the hips. She is showing the thighs, as Hinoka tends to do, with the garters and everything, and they do look great with the high boots. So all together, again, and she's got her, you know, flaming red hair as well, which contrasts really nicely with all of the glowing feathers and everything around her. Just comes together cleanly. I think it's great art for her. I think she looks great. And again, it feels like a bit of a return to form for, for these characters. And it's kind of great to see them in action. And I kind of like realized in the new dynamic of Fire Emblem Heroes, where everything is overtuned to 11, not even overtuned to 11, overtuned to 20, and they're, you know, more, I guess commonly what you would see with them with in terms of their weaponry. Alright, so Arcane Crimson, notably an inheritable lance. It's going to be 16 might with a killer slaying effect. Inflicts attack speed defense -5 on foes within 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit during combat. That's a nice little, clean little debuff across the map. If unit initiates combat or has at least 25% HP at the start of combat, grants bonus to unit stats equal to 25% of foes' attack at the start of combat, -9. So max 9, min 0. Okay. Deals damage equal to 15% of units' attack. Reduces damage from foes' attacks by 15% of units' attack. And grants special cooldown count -1 to unit before unit's first attack during combat, so she gets a pre-charge, and restores 7 HP to unit after combat. So actually very, very akin to Ryoma's weapon. A lot of similarities across, and a lot of the important things. Hers scales off of attack, Ryoma's scales off of speed. So she's got Haze Slice, which again synergizes more with attack scaling, boosts damage by 35% of unit's attack. And then, of course, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit if unit initiates combat before unit's first attack, and reduces damage from foes' attacks by 40% during combat. Oh, okay, wait. So she gets a pre-charge off of her weapon and Haze Slice. It doesn't say that it doesn't stack. So does that mean that she gets a double pre-charge to her special before her first attack? It sounds like it, which would give her an insta charge. So yeah, we'll see in the demo, but I mean, it's sounding like that. Blue Skies 4 for the A slot, excellent skill. Enables Kanto 2, and then if she initiates combaters or within 2 spaces of an ally, inflicts or adds +8 to attack and speed, and unit deals damage equal to +X damage, and reduces damage from foes' first attack by X during combat, where X is the number of allies within 3 rows, 3 columns centered on unit times 2 +2, max 8. So getting a nice bit of damage reduction, and true damage baked into the A slot in addition to the Kanto and the stat boosts. Air superiority for the B slot. So this is new. Unit can move through foes' spaces. So that is going to effectively give the pass ability. For each foe within 5 spaces of unit can move to any of the nearest spaces adjacent to that foe. So that is kind of like the Emblem Celica effect, right? If a unit is within 5 spaces, as well as Hell, I think, right? So that she gets a warping ability baked into the B slot skill. Again, it's inheritable. It's probably going to be a flyer skill with that naming and everything. But that's quite nice, because that ability to warp is not going to be, again, prevented by any skills like Bulwark or anything like that. So she'll have free reign to fly around. Inflicts speed defense -4 on foe. Deals damage equal to 20% of the greater of unit speed or defense. Interesting. Also, if foe or is cavalry, or flying, or if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make the follow-up attack by 25 would allow unit to trigger a follow-up attack, triggers potent follow X% during combat. Interesting. Okay, so she gets a potent ability. So this is the Flyer Potent. Okay. It is interesting that it scales, the effect scales off of her speed or defense. So not her attack, like her weapon or her special. So that does mean that she's probably going to want to be pretty speedy as well. I don't doubt that she will be. I'm sure she's going to be both speedy and have a pretty high attack stat. But just bearing that in mind. Encouragement for the C-slot skill. At start of turn, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +6, treachery, and incited to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. For foes within 3 rows, 3 columns centered on unit, inflicts attack speed, defense -5, neutralizes bonuses, and reduces the percentage of foes' non-special... So also damage reduction piercing against those enemies. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, unit deals +7 damage. So true damage, and neutralize effects that guarantee foes' follow-up attacks, and effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks during combat, and also if potent follow X% has triggered, and X is less than or equal to 99, then X equals 100. Interesting. So her C-slot has the specific ability, the Marth ability, where if potent activates, she gets 100% of the attack for her potent third attack, rather than the scaled down version. So she really does, it is kind of it's kind of necessary then for her to have the potent ability one way or the other, right? So it's obviously part of her B slot skill, but the fact is that her C slot kind of, to maximize the effects of her C slot, she needs to have potent, and it's part of her B slot skill that is inheritable and not unique to her. So that's a little interesting. I mean, assuming that she can get potent in other ways or through other methods, that does free up the B slot skill. Not that she would want to at this point. I'm thinking kind of in the future, when there are other B slot skills available and things like that, she might want to get the potent ability in another way. But her C slot skill does kind of, again, to get the maximum effect and value out of her C slot, she does have to get the potent from somewhere. So that is interesting. Okay. So she's going to be hitting really hard. I mean, she's going to be hitting with the potent ability, getting a full 100% damage off of that. Going to be getting some true damage. She's also going to be getting plenty of damage reduction, lots of scaling off of her attack stat, as well as the speed and defense, the debuff on the enemy, which is basically map wide. So lots of nice stuff. Lots of nice stuff that you would expect, as well as the warping ability. So flies over trouble and meets her foes up close, right? Being able to warp in and not have to worry again about enemy tiles and bulwark and any other preventing movement type skills that are there. Boost morale and strength of allies, buries enemy forces. That's right. There she goes. Haze Slice. And bam. Yeah. It's a lot of damage. Gets that Kanto. I love the little spin, the flip spin that she does with the lance. Very, very cool. Okay, here we have Scarlet. Great to see her in the game, finally. I will say that much. She is going to be a flying axe unit. And I like her smile. I don't know, she just kind of has this unbridled, friendly grin, like she's seeing a friend for the first time in a long while, and it's I don't know, it's endearing. It's quite endearing. But yeah, she's got the crimson armor. She does have the wyvern wings as the shoulder armor, which is again a nice visual effect. Got the arms on the hips, strong pose, composed. Looks nice. I think they did a nice job. So here she is, and getting into battle, and again, she is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. So she is not going to be terribly impressive, all things considered, in terms of what she's offering, but if we just take a look, Doubler X Plus, which is inheritable, 14 might, at start of turn, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack defense +6, and to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants +X to all stats to unit during combat, where X is 4 plus highest bonus on each stat between unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit, and calculates each stat bonus independently. So it's okay. Again, these inheritable weapons on 4-star focus units are difficult to... They're a hard sell. They're hard sell with rearmed weapons out there and everything. But it's fine. Ignis for the special, speed defense catch 3, and flow flight 3 for the B slot. A lot of some stepping stone skills that she is saddled with. Nothing terribly impressive in terms of her kit or anything like that, but nonetheless, it is nice to see her in the game, and people have been asking for her for a very, very long time. So it is nice to see her finally in here. And yeah, so her weapon skill bolsters attack and defense. She can have bonus doubler. Effects preventing her follow-ups are nullified. Alright, so a new hero type, Entwined Heroes, has arrived. Didn't ever really take a full look at, okay, so borrowed power. The art for Ash is amazing. I love her design so much. I really do. One of the best original designs in Fire Emblem Heroes as a whole, and she looks fantastic. They did a great job on her art here. It really looks great. And I've always loved just her aesthetic in general. There's a bit more regality and grace to her look compared to her original look, which had a little bit of a sporty elements to it. And here, again, she feels just a little bit more mature, a little bit more composed, a little bit more regal, and it shows. And I think she looks great. I think they did a great job on her art. So she is an infantry colorless beast unit. Again, it's great to see Ash. It's great to see Ash, and we didn't really talk too much about the effect of Entwined Heroes. There's a lot to digest with that, just because I don't know exactly how the S+, I mean, they talked about it. The S+ basically gives more stats. It's +2, I think, stats across, which is good for in combat. So it's in combat as long as you have a pair. And then she can bestow the bouquet. So that's the other kind of element to this, right? I do want to look at her kit aside from that, right? Just because, notwithstanding the actual entwined effects and everything, she is her own unit, right? So she's down to 1 HP, and I didn't catch the heal on the first time, but Entwining Horn is her weapon. So again, she has a colorless beast, 14 killer slaying effect. At start of player phase or enemy phase, grants imbue, resonant shields, and neutralizes foes' bonuses during combat to unit, support partner, and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. But in typical Fire Emblem Heroes fashion, you can't have a detraction on a skill anymore. It all has to be overtuned. So even if she doesn't have a support partner, allies within 2 spaces will also get the effect. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry if you're not using the support partner. That's not, even though that's part of the flavor, it's not required. If unit is transformed or if foe initiates combat, grants bonus to unit's attack defense res equal to the number of allies within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit times 3 plus 5. Max 14. Okay. Alright, so plus 14 to those stats at a minimum. Deals damage equal to 20% of unit's defense. Reduces damage from foe specials by an additional 20% of unit's defense. Okay. And unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack during combat, and also if unit's defense is greater than or equal to foe's defense plus 5, disables unit and foe's skills that change attack priority during combat. Interesting. So that can be tricky. That can be very tricky with the whole certainly desperation effects, certainly advantage effects, certainly effects like Ike that often he invokes on various versions of himself. So yeah, that can be a very powerful effect in this day and age of Fire Emblem Heroes. At start of turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, so the transformation requirement, if unit transforms, grants attack +2, deals 7 damage when special triggers, and neutralizes effects that grant special cooldown charge +X to foe or inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit. Interesting. Okay, alright. I have a sneaking suspicion she's probably going to have an easier transformation condition as part of her kit, but we will also have to see. So we get some scaling off of defense here. Imbue resonant shields and the neutralizing foes bonuses is quite nice just to have as various effects that activate. Very powerful. Now Flame Wall for the special. Let's take a look at this. Boost damage by 70% of unit's defense when special triggers. And she is going to have monstrous defense based on the scaling that comes off of her defense with her weapon. If unit or foe special is ready, or unit or foe special triggered before or during this combat, and also if unit's defense is greater than foe's defense -10, reduces damage for foe's next attack by 40%. So getting some damage reduction in there for the next attack. after the proc. Okay. Distant attack defense form for the A slot, getting that distant counter in there, as well as bonuses to attack and defense during combat. That's pretty nice. And Lagoo's Friend for the B slot skill. We've seen plenty of Lagoo's Friend, too much of Lagoo's Friend, and it's still a broken skill. It's still a really powerful skill. So quite powerful, especially for a defensive unit, and we know Ash is going to be a defensive unit. For her C slot, Air of Openness. There it is. There it is. Didn't I call it? If unit can transform, transformation effects gain. If unit is within 2 spaces of any allies from a different title than the unit as a trigger condition in addition to the existing condition. So that should be pretty easy. And again, I like the flavor of it. I do. Because that does kind of lean into the whole Ash, Asker, origins and everything else. If defending in Ether raids at the start of enemy turn 1, if conditions of... the unit transforms at turn 1, even if they are on enemy phase. Gotcha. Allies within 2 spaces of unit can move to any space within 2 spaces of unit. So that is just like the current Ash, I believe. Foes with a range of 1 cannot move through spaces adjacent to units or getting the Bulwark ability. That is nice. For support partner and for allies within 3 spaces of the unit, grants +5 to attack defense res, reduces damage from foes' attacks by 7 during combat, and next attack deals damage equal to 40% of foes' first damage prior to restrictions. Or prior to reductions, I'm sorry. Interesting. Okay. So, again, that ties in to all of the reduction, right? So the next attack will be a bite effect. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack defense res +5 to unit. Unit deals +7 damage and reduces damage from foes' first attacks by 7 during combat. Unit's next attack deals 40%. Yeah, the bite effect. So again, that's going to be reciprocal. It's going to be across the partner and any allies within 3 spaces, which is pretty huge. It's pretty big space, pretty big range there. So that is quite nice. So yeah. A whole host of different abilities. The bite effect is going to be quite strong, especially, again, in this day and age where there's so much damage reduction just baked in everywhere. It is going to be a pretty hefty load to swing back at the enemy, especially when you take into account everything else that she has going for her. So that is nice. That is definitely nice. We can see here, grants up to S+ support rank. Boost counterattacks, provides healing for allies around her. And then... proccing that special, Flame Wall, really, again, that's really cool. She's just glowing, the below angle and everything is really, really nice too. Obviously, Ash being a full-figured gal, the view is pretty spectacular from down there. And then, it looks like that's the regular attacking art too. Really nice, she looks really stoic. And you get a little back shot there too. But yeah, she looks awesome. She looks awesome. I love that her hair is kind of whipping as well from the forward momentum there. So again, the whole Entwined Hero thing, again, the plus... So based on that, I'm assuming that the attack defense +2 are like actual stat increases. It's not an in combat or during combat stat boost. It is just an actual flat boost to the stat line, right? And then... now when we're talking about support rank S+ are dispatched together and getting +2 to all stats during combat, no matter how far apart they are, that's a during combat stat boost. It says it right there, right? So it's not just... so it's a combination of both. It's some during combat stat boosts in addition to the raw stat boost. And then the S+ summoner support... I mean, I don't know if anybody really cares about this, quite frankly. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, I guess. Maybe it's a sign that we're going to get more modes incoming that will feature the summoner as a playable hero. That could be, but for the time being, this is quite limited in terms of its value. It's arguably limited and arguably specious. And again, Entwined Bouquet, like we said. So it'll give the same effects as the Entwined Hero. She's giving the bouquet to Asker, which is quite cute. It's actually really cute to see. But then, yeah, so now he becomes effectively an Entwined Hero as well. So whoever he ends up becoming an ally with will also get the +2. So Ash's Bouquet gives attack defense +2, and then triggers the S+ effect as well. Yeah, like so. Okay, so now it's clear. Okay, so I mean, they're adding just more ways to bolster and boost other units. And presumably it stacks with some of the other effects that we've seen in terms of trinkets that will add stat boosts and everything else like that. The +2 to attack and defense is pretty nice. I will say the raw stat boosts I think are more valuable than the in-combat stat boosts, just because raw stat boosts will more cleanly scale off of things, generally speaking, can't be as nullified and things like that. So that's just kind of the way things are right now. Not to say that the during combat stat boosts aren't valuable as well, but I would say that the raw stat boosts are definitely kind of primo in terms of actual stat buffs and things like that. So yeah, again, starting on the 16th of September, we've got this Attuned, Rearmed, and Entwined banner going on, which is going to feature all limited characters and some popular picks too that we haven't seen in a while, to be perfectly honest. And as well as, we've got Scarlet, which has been in the wings for a really long time. So nice to see her in there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how people are going to feel about the limited nature of all of the characters. What they provide in terms of benefits and buffs to other allies and things like that. I will say that one of the nice things about these types of heroes is that they do, generally speaking, offer the ability to significantly buff existing characters. So you do have the ability to inherit, the X-Slot skill, the rearmed arcane weapon as well, and then you've got, of course, the bouquet with the Entwined Heroes. So there's tertiary bonuses to acquiring these characters, rather than just trying to get kind of the shiniest new weapon or toy that's out there. But yeah, let me know down below if you're excited for this banner. I don't think I'm gonna summon on this. I mean, I want to think through it a little bit. Again, I'm trying to mostly target where I can make the most improvements to my Camilla emblem team, and that's really my focus. Or if I see a limited hero that has fantastic art. I mean, Ash has, I don't know. I kind of want Ash, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But let me know down below if you're summoning on this banner. If you do, best of luck to you. Hope you get all the copies of everybody that you're looking for. And hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. Thank you all so much for watching. Really, really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.